What's going on, guys? Radio Graffiti here, and today I want to talk to you guys about Aquaman 2. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is the last movie in the DCEU, and nobody's going to go watch it. It's flopping at the box office, but nobody cares. Everyone knew it would. The DCEU has been a punching bag for everybody for a long time now. Everybody knows this universe sucks. So how's the movie itself? Well, it's not as good as the first one. I think the first Aquaman was better. But I think the first Aquaman was just okay, but I think visually it was better. Everything about it was probably better than this one. All the humor in this movie is so fucking terrible. None of it's funny at all. There's tons of moments throughout the movie where people's hair is like floating and it's very distracting because it looks so fucking fake. I know I did that in the first movie too, but for some reason in this one in particular, it looked very distracting. It looks awful. There's tons of times throughout the film where somebody's about to die, and then somebody comes in at the last second to save them. It happens like 5-6 times, something like that, way too many times. The villain, it's been a rough year for superhero movies, so I can give this villain a pass. One of the things I like about this movie is that they actually brought back the same villain from the first movie. How many movies bring back the same villain from the first movie? It's like a rare thing. Because you look at so much superhero media, there's tons of times where superheroes have to fight the same villain from before. But in the movies, they barely do that. So I like that they brought Black Manta back, even though he wasn't really... There's pretty much nothing to him other than, I want to kill Aquaman. And he's got some kind of evil green ghost guy convincing him to do it. I don't even know what the villain's name is. It's some kind of weird green skeleton guy. He was horrible. And his scene in the movie was so funny because he's like a cartoonish villain all throughout the scenes he has, which is only like maybe 2 or 3, and then he like comes back and he's like, oh, I finally returned from my punishment in hell. Someone has set me free. And then 10 seconds later he goes right back to where he came from. That shit was so fucking funny because how stupid it was. I don't know if that was supposed to be a joke or not, but it was laughable the way they handled that. That was so fucking funny. That's probably the funniest scene in the movie, and I don't even know if it was intentional or not. Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson are the only thing that keep you through this movie. Because if it weren't for them, I'd just fall asleep. This movie was so fucking boring. There's so many times where characters just start randomly going into the backstory of the Lost Kingdom and all these other characters and all these other weapons or items or whatever. It's so fucking boring, and there's so much story time shit going on in this film. Amber Heard, it's weird because you can tell they cut a lot of her scenes out of the film. Because I find it hard to believe she had such a huge role in the first movie, and then in the sequel when she has a kid, she's only in like maybe 5 scenes throughout the whole film. It's like anytime she shows up, they try to get her off screen real quick. They cut as fast as they possibly can, and it's very distracting. Because I know about all the behind the scenes drama with her and Johnny Depp, so it's very weird. Kind of takes you out of the movie. The action was nothing special. The action in the first movie was a lot better. I think about the scene between Aquaman and Orm, it was shot so much better. There's a few scenes here and there that's better than your standard comic book movie action where they want to cut the scene 20 times. But overall, it's just mid. This movie in general is just mid. It's like an underwater Black Panther mixed with Star Wars. If you don't watch this, you're literally not missing out on anything. It feels like you're wasting 2 hours of your life if you watch this movie. There's really nothing I can say that's a standout. At least with Ant-Man 3, I can say, oh, the Kang scenes were good. Aquaman 2, I can't really recommend anything to you. This movie's just as mid as Blue Beetle, just as mid as the Marvels. Superhero movies are just dying. 2023 is the death of superhero films. And 2024 is going to be a fucking nail in the coffin. Because look what we got coming out in 2024. It's like bullshit like Madam Web, Kraven the Hunter, I think Venom 3. We're in for some real wet, nasty, stinky dog shit next year. But yeah, thank God DC's finally taking a break. These movies have been completely awful. The DCEU is finally over. Thank God. I don't know if the DCEU will be any better, but it can't get any worse, I guess. But yeah, those are my quick thoughts on Aquaman 2. The movie's very mid. There's not much to talk about it. It's a waste of time if you watch it. Just don't watch it. There's no point. Unless you're like me and you just want to finish the last movie in the DCEU. It's been a long journey, but we finally got here. 10 years later. The DCEU is finally over. Hallelujah. It's sad I had to go out on such a mid-movie, but at least it's finally done. But what did you guys think about Aquaman 2? There's not even any spoilers I can give for this movie because nothing really happens. Good guy teams up with a bad guy from the last movie to beat the other bad guy from the last movie. It's the same shit they already showed you in the trailers. Like, there's nothing to spoil. So yeah, that's it.